Welcome to Quick Hits. I'm your host, Shannon Smith, aka Podcast Smitty, and I am a fan of sport. We're inside the month of September, and September is a month of transition. Summer is transitioning into fall, not just outside, but in the field of sports. Summer sports are closing out their regular season and are gearing up for the playoffs. Today's episode is all about the WNBA and its upcoming playoffs. In my all four quarters segment, I'll predict the WNBA's all rookie, all defensive, and all WNBA teams. I'll be introducing a new segment called Golf Clap, Round of Applause, Standing Ovation, where I highlight the accomplishments of each playoff team during the regular season. And wrapping up the show, I'll pick round by round my winner for the 2025 WNBA Championship in my Quick Hits, Quick Picks segment. So without further ado, let's start the show.
Now they holler he'll turn, thinking I'ma sell out, talking just to feel heard. I never listen, although they say it's true.
4 topics, 4 discussions, all 4 quarters. WNBA version, let's go. Quarter number 1, my WNBA all rookie team. I have 3 guards, 2 in the front court. Let's start with the back court. Paige Becker, Sonia Citron, and Layla Lacan. Of course, Paige gonna be the rookie of the year this year. 44 points in 1 game. Rookie record, leads her team in points, assists, and steals. Give me Paige. Going on to Sonia Citron. Another bucket from mid and 3-point range. Started every game this year and has been big ever since the Brittany Sykes trade. She's had a lot to do with that team before then, but her workload has become more significant since the Brittany Sykes trade, and she has embraced it, starting every game this year. Give me Sonia Citron. She would have been rookie of the year if Paige Becker were not in the league. Going on to Layla Lacan. She's played both guard and forward for the Connecticut Sun. 10 points per game. Leads the team in steals also too. Could have been a candidate for 6th player of the year. I love Sanaya Rivers, who plays with her, but unfortunately you gotta go with one, and Layla Lacan is the one that I would take for the all-rookie team. Going to the front court, we have Janelle Salon and Kiki Area-Finn. Janelle leads the Bucks in rebounds, over 11 points per game, started over 30 games this season, and one of the reasons why the Golden State Valkyries are in the playoffs. And Kiki Area-Finn is a double-double machine, over 13 points per game, leads the Mystics in rebounds. The Mystics, they have a bright future with both of these players, Sonia Citron and Kiki Area-Finn. That is my rookie team. Quarter number 2, this one was a little tough, but these are my all WNBA defensive teams. Starting with the second team, Shakira Alston, Azuria Stevens, Alyssa Thomas, Paige Beckers, and Ariel Atkins. I like Shakira Alston at that center spot for the Washington Mystics. Very good shot blocker, close to 1.5 block shots per game this season. Also a very good steal, very good defender, getting good steals, close to 1 steal per game this season. Azuria Stevens, who has done the same thing, averaging better than 1 block and 1 steal per game. This Los Angeles Sparks team has a lot of promise coming into next season. Although they missed the playoffs, Azuria Stevens' defensive prowess is a reason why. And Alyssa Thomas, we know her for the offense, but for the most part, very talented defensive player at that forward position. Paige Becker, a big surprise. She's in the top 10 in steals per game with better than 1.5 steals per game. Ariel Atkins around that as well too for the Chicago Sky. Really not a lot going on great in Chicago right now, but Ariel Atkins is a great player. The trade might not have been so great, but Ariel can still play ball. That is my second team. We're going to the first team now, and it is front court based. Asia Wilson, Ezzy the Meg Begor, Alana Smith, what's up cuz? Gabby Williams, and Nafisa Collier. Asia Wilson leading the WNBA in block shots per game. Yet again, Ezzy was right behind her for the Seattle Storm. Shannon Smith, who many think could win Defensive Player of the Year. She's in the top 5 in steals per game and block shots per game, just like her teammate Nafisa Collier. And Gabby Williams, she's my favorite for WNBA Defensive Player of the Year, leading the WNBA in steals with that defensive-minded Seattle Storm team. That is my defensive teams for the WNBA. Third quarter, all WNBA teams, Team 1 and Team 2. My second team, Nneka Ogwumike, Dearica Hamby, Alea Boston, Sabrina Ionescu, and Kelsey Plum. Nneka Ogwumike, Madam President, better than 18 points per game, close to 11 rebounds per game. I like the way that she plays. She's an all-star, perennial all-star, back-to-back. I love the way that she plays. She has a great leadership role for the Seattle Storm team. Dearica Hamby is one of my favorite players in the league when it comes down to post play. I love how Dearica handles her business in the post on the rebounding end and on the offensive side of the ball. She doesn't get a lot of credit. That Los Angeles Sparks team is a great team, and Dearica Hamby is one of the reasons why they were short of the playoffs. I get it, but she has played great basketball. She's one of those overlooked players. Dearica Hamby is one of my favorites. Then we go to Alea Boston. She deserves this. This Indiana Fever has been through a lot of adversity, and she's one of those players that keeps that team intact. Alea Boston, she deserves it here for the second team. And on to the backcourt, Sabrina Ionescu, who is a bucket always, the best shooter in the WNBA. I agree. From mid-range, long range, she can shoot it better than anybody. Streaky shooter, of course, but she's one of the best. And Kelsey Plum embracing her leadership role with the Los Angeles Sparks this year, breaking away from the Las Vegas Aces to mold her game, leading the team in points, leading them in steals and assists. Kelsey is a great player. I think that Los Angeles Sparks team is on the rise. I look for them to play great basketball next season and contend for the playoffs. And on to the first team. Asia Wilson, Nafisa Collier, Alyssa Thomas, Alicia Gray, and Kelsey Mitchell are my all-WNBA first team. Very, very easy to debate with me on this one, but this is the team here. All 5 of these have a conversation for MVP this year. I think Asia has the strongest campaign for it with how this team has went from one of the bottom teams to one of the top teams in the WNBA, all because of Asia's great scoring and her defense. Asia, best player in the WNBA, best two-way player in the WNBA. Asia does it all. Nafisa Collier, there's an argument for her being the best two-way player in the WNBA, and she is forging that in her own right. MVP on this squad as well too. Alyssa Thomas dazzled this year with assists, the best distributor in the game, most assists in the single season, most assists per game this year with better than 9 assists per game. Alicia Gray in her first year with the Atlanta Dream has been incredible. I love her game at the guard position. One of the reasons why Atlanta is one of the top 3 teams in the WNBA. And Kelsey Mitchell coming out of nowhere this year. But the thing with Kelsey is she's always been a great player. Was a great player in college at The Ohio State. Coming into the league, she's one of those players that not a lot of people see, but she is an absolute nightmare when it comes down to getting the ball up court. Very fast player, can shoot it well from 3, can penetrate. She has played great basketball, stepped her game up so much. Give me Kelsey Mitchell on this all-WNBA first team. In the fourth quarter, ain't no fourth quarter. We only needed 3. Let's go on to the next segment, shall we? These 8 playoff teams, without a doubt, played some great basketball. Now, these 8 teams, there were some teams that could have finished stronger. There were some teams that met expectations, and there were some teams that exceeded expectations, which inspired me to create this segment called Golf Clap, Round of Applause, Standing Ovation, WNBA Playoff Edition. Let's get into it. I have 3 teams that deserve the golf clap going into these playoffs due to their play in the regular season. So let's go ahead and start with the first team, the Seattle Storm. This team flirted with disaster way too much. They're too talented to be doing this. At one point in time, they were fighting with the LA Sparks for the 8th playoff spot. They were able to do it because the Sparks had a tougher sea of opponents that were coming up as opposed to the Seattle Storm. This squad here, I love the squad. I love the way this squad is built. Ezzy, the Megabor, the way that Nneka Ogwumike has played as a leader of this team, who has played incredibly well. She's a pick for All-WNBA second team by me. I love Gabby Williams' defensive prowess. I think she should win Defensive Player of the Year. I like the way that Erica Wheeler plays. The addition of Brittany Sykes to this team had me excited. I looked at the Seattle Storm to go up there and actually contend for either a 4th or 3rd spot in the WNBA, because at that time, the Las Vegas Aces were slipping. You saw the Phoenix Mercury slipping as well, too. It looked like they could have made their way into the top 3 teams. That didn't happen. It was very disappointing to me because the way this team was, but they get the golf clap from me. So Seattle, you get that golf clap. The next team I have is the Phoenix Mercury. They were as high up as the 2nd place team in the WNBA in the first half of the season. They had some troubles in the locker room. Satu Sabali actually sat out due to some disputes with her head coach. This squad, I had them as a dark horse for the WNBA championship at one point in time in the first half of the season. That didn't happen. I love the way this team is built as well, too. Satu Sabali was looking like she could have been a WNBA MVP candidate. The way Alyssa Thomas has played with this squad, they had some productivity from rookie players. Lexi Hield played very, very good. This squad was looking like they could have been a team that could have contended for a title this year. They're in the playoffs. They're the 4th seed. That's good, but I think they could have been a little better as well, too, especially with the Vegas Aces slipping at that time. So they get the golf clap from me. And my 3rd team that gets the golf clap is the New York Liberty. Now, listen, I know the Liberty had some injuries happen to them. Jonquel Jones getting injured in the first part of the season. That was a big blow to them. Later on, Brianna Stewart having to sit for most of August. Sabrina Ionescu getting hurt around that time. The Liberty had some trouble with their big players getting hurt. So I can give them a pass for that. They are the defending champions. There are going to be teams that will be going after them. So I do understand the urgency of having their best players out there. However, there were times where they were outplayed by teams like the Minnesota Lynx. They were outplayed by the Las Vegas Aces, teams that they could have beat around that time, but were unable to do so even though they were full strength. So I must say that the Liberty have to get the golf clap from me. They're the 5th best team in the WNBA. That 4 or 5 spot is going to be very, very interesting in the playoffs, but those 3 teams are getting the golf clap from me. Now there are 3 teams that are getting the round of applause from me right now. These teams met expectations. Some of them even exceeded expectations, but they were not off the charts. But they played very, very good basketball, and they are playing very, very well. The first team that I need to bring up for a round of applause is the Atlanta Dream. My man Jason Colenso called that on the 3 from Deep episode where we talked WNBA. He liked the Atlanta Dream coming in. Bree Jones, Brittany Griner, they were great compliments to this team. The emergence of Alisha Gray becoming an MVP candidate. She should not win Most Improved Player this year. I hope the WNBA does not do that. Reason being is because she was in the running for MVP. I feel like she should be looked at as an MVP caliber player, not a Most Improved Player. I think that's a little bit below Alisha Gray. That's no disrespect to anybody who wins that award, and no disrespect to Alisha Gray, but I think that she deserves a little more kudos than what she gets by winning Most Improved Player. And plus, I have a player that deserves it more than she does. Also, too, She helped out Ron Howard in the backcourt. Ron Howard, she was a first-round player a couple of years back. She has some help on that team. Nas Hillman coming off the bench. Carl Smesco, he'll win a title in the WNBA as a coach. I believe that it is coming for him. So Atlanta gets a round of applause from Podcast Smitty. The next team, of course, the Minnesota Lynx, number 2 for the round of applause. They were the best team throughout the season. Record-wise, the Dejanay Carrington deal was a great move made by the organization. Dejanay Carrington bringing more defense to this already great defensive team with Nafisa Collier, with Alana Smith playing very, very good defense on that squad. They have a guard that can lock down on the perimeter, which is something that doomed Minnesota in the finals last year, but not this time, as Dejanay Carrington will be a great defender on the perimeter. They can score anywhere with how they play. Kayla McBride, a very wonderful perimeter shooter. Also, Alana Smith can do the same thing. Nafisa Collier, of course, with her scoring ability outside of the paint and inside of the paint as well, too. They can score anywhere. They played well without Nafisa Collier when she was injured for the 9 games that she missed. But when she came back, of course, we see why they call her MVP. The Minnesota Lynx get a round of applause from me. And my third team who gets the round of applause are the Las Vegas Aces. I've nuanced them in the so far in this segment, but the reason why I do that is because they've had the best second half of any team in the WNBA this year. They were looked at as a team that was doomed. There were some people saying that A'ja Wilson was not the best player in the WNBA. They don't know ball. I stand by that, regardless of how the Vegas Aces have played this year. She has been a standout on that team. Night after night, when she was hurt, they felt the effects. The Vegas Aces felt the effects when A'ja Wilson was hurt. But this team has had the biggest turnaround. They're the hottest team in the WNBA. And if you watch the NBA this year, the Indiana Pacers were a hot team coming in to the NBA playoffs, made it all the way to the finals. The Vegas Aces have the potential of doing that. They deserve a round of applause from Podcast Smitty. Then we go on to the standing ovations. There are only 2 teams this year that deserve a standing ovation from me. The first team is the Golden State Valkyries. They were an expansion team, and all year they were saying, what expansion team? They made the playoffs in their inaugural year, the first WNBA team to ever do so, and they have the most wins from an expansion team in an inaugural season with 23 wins, breaking a WNBA record in the record books twice. They had the Coach of the Year on their squad, Natalie Nakase. Incredible season as coach for the Golden State Valkyries. Also, too, they have the most improved player on their team with Veronica Burton. Veronica has played great basketball. She was almost out of the league at one point in time, but she's played great basketball. I love what she has done with her play. And she did it against Dallas, which was great. They clinched against the Dallas Wings, the team that let her go. Incredible stuff. I love what she did there. Great job by this team. They had the best home court, and they have the best attendance in the WNBA. That shows you right there, a strong fan base can get you into playoff mode, can get you playing the best basketball you can. The Golden State Valkyries, standing ovation. But the team that deserved the most, the biggest standing ovation in the WNBA is the Indiana Fever. They lost Caitlin Clark. They lost Sid Colston, Ari McDonald, Sophie Cunningham, Chloe Bibby. They lost a lot of players this year for the end of the season. It hurt them. It was not good at all seeing that happen. They suited up with 5 players at one point in time. They had to find players. They got productivity from Odyssey Sims in free agency. Alea Balson and Kelsey Mitchell stepped up as leaders of this team, played great basketball. Not only that, it kept them into the playoffs. They got up to a 6th seed this year. They had fans that traveled with them, fans that sold out, even without Caitlin Clark playing. The players that were injured were supporting that squad. This team has rallied around each other and they lean on each other. Stephanie White has coached some great basketball. The Indiana Fever deserve the biggest of all standing ovations from Podcast Smitty. Thank you, thank you, thank you to these 8 teams with how well they have played. But most importantly, we got one more segment to go where I make my quick picks for who's going to win the WNBA championship. Let's go. Now let's make these quick hits, quick picks, and let's get out of here because we got a lot of basketball to watch this upcoming week. But before those picks are made, remember, subscribe to the Boom Broadcasting YouTube channel and go through the plethora of podcasts that we have in the field of TV and movies, sports, and sports entertainment. We have live podcasts, solo podcasts, team content. We have reels on everything from fantasy football to all 4 professional sports, football, basketball, baseball. Hockey's coming up real soon. I'm looking forward to that. We also have your college sports, your college basketball, your college football, all intact. You name it, we got it. And if we don't have it, we will go in there and we will get it and bring it to you live here on this here YouTube channel. See us on the socials as well too, as we are growing here at Boom Broadcasting. More shows are coming towards you for the remainder of the sports season, so stick around for that. Now let's make these quick hits, quick picks right here for the WNBA playoffs. I've got the seedings right here. We're going to go with the first round. Remember, the first round, there's the best of 3. So these teams that'll be playing, they'll be playing 3 games to move on to the second round. So let's go ahead and let's get it going. For the first round in the 1-8 game, Minnesota versus the Golden State Valkyries. I love this squad. I love Golden State a lot, but the Minnesota Lynx, they're just too much. I see them winning by a sweep 2-0. They will advance forward. The Vegas Aces and the Seattle Storm. I think that the Aces will end up sweeping Seattle. I'm not really high on this team when it comes down to playing against a streaky Las Vegas Aces team. They've been putting teams away, putting them in the ground. 16 straight wins. The Seattle Storm, I think, will regroup and build this team up better next year. Might be a coaching change, might not be. But we'll definitely see with the Seattle Storm. But I see the Vegas Aces winning 2-0. Now, the Atlanta Dream and the Indiana Fever, the 3-6 matchup, this could be very scary. This Indiana Fever team is playing with nothing to lose. But one thing about it is they're a team that is playing shorthanded still. I think the Atlanta Dream will win, but I think the Indiana Fever will get a win against the Dream. I see Atlanta winning 2-1 in this series, and they will move forward. The Phoenix Mercury and the New York Liberty. Now remember, the New York Liberty, they are the defending champions, and the Phoenix Mercury, with a team that's been put together with new players. I got the New York Liberty winning 2-1 against the Phoenix Mercury here and moving on into the semifinal as we look to see the Final Four here in the WNBA Final Four, if you will, that semifinal. They've got the Minnesota Lynx and the New York Liberty, the 1-5 matchup, and the Vegas Aces, the 2-3 matchup. I honestly see both of these series going 5 games. The New York Liberty, I think they've got a little bit for the Minnesota Lynx. I think they'll push them to the limit because they've been battling each other this season. But I got the Minnesota Lynx winning 3-2. That will be a great matchup, reminiscent of last year's best of 5 WNBA finals. The Minnesota Lynx will get the best of the New York Liberty this time around and will move forward to the WNBA championship. And the Las Vegas Aces against the Atlanta Dream, of course, Alicia Gray and Asia Wilson, very, very good friends, played basketball with each other for the University of South Carolina. Dawn Staley's children getting it in the WNBA. But I got the Aces winning this one in 5 games. This will be a battle between these two teams, setting up the heavyweight matchup, the 1-2 matchup with the Minnesota Lynx against the Las Vegas Aces. This matchup is going to be a battle. Napheesa Collier versus Asia Wilson. This will be incredible. I'm looking forward to this. I'm hoping this is going to be the matchup that we see, because these two ladies are the 1-2 players in the WNBA. You can rearrange them around depending on which fan you are of which team. I don't think you can go wrong with either or. I don't think that. But this matchup is going to be a best of 7. I think it's going to end in 6. I got the Minnesota Lynx winning in 6 games. Minnesota's defense, I think, is just too much for the Vegas Aces. That win streak has got to come to an end somehow, some way. Minnesota's going to get it. I think it's their year. I think Napheesa Collier and the ladies have blood in their eye from last year after losing in 5 games to the New York Liberty. There are many people out there saying that the New York Liberty cheated and got the win because of the referee play, because of the referees officiating here. I think this game is going to remove all doubt with how well these teams are playing, because these teams are going to battle each other. Cheryl Reeve versus Becky Hammond. The coaching matchup is going to be great as well, along with the tail of the tape with Napheesa Collier and with Asia Wilson. But give me Minnesota in 6 games. The Minnesota Lynx will avenge last year and will get a WNBA championship for 2025 and the 29th year, the 29th season of the WNBA. Thank you very much for joining me as we talked about the WNBA, talked about the All-WNBA rookie teams, the defensive teams, the All-WNBA teams, my golf clap, standing ovation, round of applause. I got that backwards, I know, but we talked about that on this episode. Thank you for joining me. Make sure you're watching Boom Broadcasting. Make sure you're subscribing. Make sure that you join us in the next one. I'm Shannon Smith, and this is Quick Hits.
Now they holler, he'll turn, thinking I'ma sell out, talking just to feel heard. I never listen, although they say it's strictly